Happy holidays!
Happy holidays!
We have a gift here. Alexa got it for me. It's the sweetest gift, and she wrapped this whole thing herself. So this was a cardboard.
Yes, it was 2 boxes.
2 boxes.
That the gift came in. Well, one of the boxes was the gift came in, and then the other one fit perfectly in order to make this box.
Everything's like so well thought out, like the paper, the
bow.
bow.
Do you see the corners?
The corners, of course. Even the tag here, even put some stars in there. It's like the cutest thing ever. I almost cried when she gave it to me.
Whee! So for some context, Andrea has some nutcrackers that she collects.
Yes, like every year I get a new one. So I have a full collection. I think I have 5 now. Well, maybe 7 if we count the other ones. So every year I want to get a new one. And the other day that I had all my Christmas decoration out, I showed you the nutcrackers and you put a mental note. And then
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm getting her a nutcracker for sure.
Yeah.
And then right afterwards, we filmed the episode about gift giving.
Right.
And you mentioned that you like to do experiences where it's a gift that both of you can enjoy at the same time. So, yeah, I thought, why not get a nutcracker that you can paint?
Yes. And while we painted, we wanted to do like another episode where we talk about gratitude, especially for the holiday season. I think it's really a nice way to relate that with a lot of family visiting or spending time with friends. So I think it would be a really nice activity to do while we paint them together.
Yes. Okay. So if you're listening to this episode and you cannot see us painting this, you can always go on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at As You Are Pod and see what we created while we're talking to you about gratitude.
So for the nutcrackers, we wanted to do something together, but yet, since we're so similar but yet so different, I think we wanted to do our version of it. So what I'm going to do is paint mine black and gold, basically, and yours is going to be white and gold because your house is more neutral and
white.
And I have a lot of like black accents in mine, so I think it's going to look really good, but yet they're like kind of the same.
Yes.
In a way.
So you're going to start with a fog. Okay, so let's give you a little bit more context. The camera right now is at maximum an hour to record.
Oh, yes. Like we don't have memory space.
So we don't have memory space. We don't have much time. Plus, we're going to try and talk about gratitude while focusing on painting this thing. So it's going to be a journey.
Let's see if we can do all of that at the same time. Okay, so this episode, we want to talk about gratitude. And I wanted to start asking you what gratitude means to you.
I think that lately, like this year in particular, I've been doing a lot of work with gratitude. And I think I mentioned to you before that at some point this year, I felt like I wasn't grateful enough for things. Even like as I'm thinking that I'm grateful for something, I say to myself, I'm not grateful enough. Like I should be more grateful for what I'm grateful for. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's been something that I've been trying to understand for myself this year, what gratitude means to me. And I think I've come to the conclusion that to me, being grateful is acknowledging the beauty that surrounds you and not being afraid to take it all in.
But is that related to like everything, or is it life in general, or is it like when someone gives you something? Or
I think it's everything, like, because I think there's beauty in everything in life. Recently, I've been using the word beautiful a lot just to describe things. And even experiences that can seem very hard or challenging, I'll describe them as beautiful.
I see.
So even for hard times, I think this year I've learned to be grateful for the challenging moments in my life. Because I think this year more than ever, I realize how much those moments have shaped me.
Totally. It's like the hard moments always give you something that you learn or like a lesson. So it's good that you see it that with those eyes of being grateful that happened instead of being like, oh, what did that happen to me?
Right. And not holding anything against anyone, or just letting go of the idea of how things should be and accepting them fully for what they are, and recognizing the beauty that they've brought into my life.
Mhm.
What does gratitude mean to you?
Well, gratitude, it's for me showing appreciation or being appreciative of everything that happens in your life. I've always believed that everything that happens in your life, it's because of something, even like
Yes.
something as simple as, I don't know, the car driving in front of you is driving super slow, even though that sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it could be like super annoying and super stressful, especially when you're like late for work or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I always believe that that happens because of something.
Yes.
Even it could be like preventing you from a crash that might happen in front of you.
Yes.
You can, of course, not predict that, but I feel everything happens for a reason. So it's just being appreciative of everything that happens in your life. Even it could be like people that come into your life, smaller things like I just mentioned, or your body, being appreciative of your body
Yes.
that you're
Ah,
able
that's
to.
so big. Yeah, for me too this year. I feel getting to know my body a lot more, my spirit a lot more, being grateful for the person that I am and the people that have brought me here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big.
Yeah. And yeah, and also being able to move, being appreciative of your body, being able to do all of those stuffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just appreciate what you have in life, no matter what it is, and be thankful for that.
And to add to what you were saying about like being in the car and feeling like you're late to going wherever, to me, I always saw it as a way of the universe telling me to slow down. It's like you feel like you're in a rush and you can be late. And is it a, but if there's a day where you're catching all the red lights, just
Yes.
breathe and be like,
Yes.
okay, thank you, universe, for giving me that time to just chill, for giving me that step back.
Yeah. Have you ever thought
What?
that being like, oh, why is it like instead of, oh, you're making me slow down, is it like, this is a lesson for you to like wake up earlier or like be faster? It's like you should know better, be fast. Sometimes I'm like, maybe this is why I need to understand why I need to wake up earlier or be
Right.
faster.
I mean, for me, I realized in life that whenever something was important to me, I was always on time. And
Yeah, true. Yeah,
meaning,
if you give the
and
importance.
even if I was late, there was always a circumstance for it. Like maybe sometimes, for example, I was late for meeting a client, and I tell the client, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna be late." And the client is like, "Oh, thank God, because I'm like also late. I'm like getting dressed now or something."
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I think what you say is true about at a certain point you have to take responsibility for being late.
Yeah. And how do you practice gratitude on a day to day?
I would say the number one thing for me practicing gratitude is praying before I eat
Really? You
at
do that?
night. Yeah. For some reason, I really mostly do it at night
Because you're at home?
because I'm at home. And that's when I'm just taking in the day. And even while I'm cooking my food at night, I'll say thank you to my food while I'm cooking it.
Oh,
So
I
if, for
didn't know
example,
that.
I'm cooking chicken, I'll say it to my head, like, thank you so much, chicken, for your nutrition. And thank you, like, literally.
I didn't know that.
I
Didn't even
believe
tell me.
that, you know, that experiment where they took plants and they were giving like positive and
Mm-hmm.
loving words to the plant. And then the other one, it was all negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that got positive comments was flourishing, and the one that got negative comments was
Yeah,
like
you told me
dying.
about that. Yeah. That's crazy.
I believe that it's the same thing for your food. And it's like, I try and be grateful for every aspect of my life. It's like thanking God for everything that I have, for the people that are in my life and all of that, but also thinking my food, thinking my water that I'm going to drink. So, yeah, I think number one is praying for me before I eat at my dinner. I also just try and, for example, if I'm outside and there's a breeze, I'll open the palm of my hands and I'll close my eyes just for a second. And I don't say anything. It's just that I'm taking in the present moment. And that to me feels like gratitude.
Wow. Didn't know you do all of that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you ever write anything down?
Yes. I also, yeah, journaling is a big moment where I'm very grateful for things. I think when I'm praying, I feel the days that I'm the most grateful is the days that I don't even say anything in my prayer. I
Really?
just feel it's like I'm going to eat and I just see my food and I'm just present.
Hmm.
And it's like not only am I present, am I grateful for the food that I'm seeing right in front of me, but I'm grateful for my parents back at home. I'm grateful for
Right.
my boyfriend. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for everything, like all at once. And those moments of gratitude come when I'm so peaceful and I'm not even saying anything.
Okay, I see. Wow, that's so interesting. In my case, I've talked about this in the journaling episode that I have a journal with prompts, and one of it
Yes.
it's what am I grateful for that day, and it has helped me so much because even though I'm so grateful for the same things every day, also I don't want to repeat myself that much, so it makes you think about all the things that you have in your life, and every day I'm super grateful for my body that I'm able to move my legs, my arms, that I'm able to see, that I'm able to talk. And for some reason, I have that stuck in my head. So I want to thank every single day because of that. And then besides that, every day I keep adding more stuff, like even having a roof over my head, my family, my friends, same like having the people I have that around me or surrounds me, and it makes you think about like the smaller things, being grateful about having food, being grateful about having a car, being grateful to even have a job, because sometimes we take a lot of things, we don't we,
Granted.
yeah, we don't find them special, and sometimes we need to sit back and be like, oh no, actually being able to do this or to have this, it's a great opportunity. So sometimes looking at that way is it makes you change the perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I'm going to cut you for a second just
yeah.
because I feel it's very related to what you're saying. Something that I heard from a woman once is to say, instead of I have to say I get to.
Yeah.
And that has changed my perspective on the regular things so much.
Yeah.
Like making food, instead of thinking, oh,
I
I
was gonna
have to
say
make
that,
food
yeah.
tonight. So I get to make food tonight. And that has
Totally.
really changed my attitude.
Oh no, yeah, totally. I was about to say that too because one time I talked to this girl who is really into gratitude. She practiced that every single day, and one day she was telling me like, oh, that she basically, oh no.
What? Oh, you painted the shoulder?
No, I painted the ball. I think I'm gonna paint them like skin.
The skin?
Yeah, cause look at this. I think I'm just gonna paint the skin.
Okay.
Oh no. We had a tiny accident in here. We're all good.
Yes, you were saying there was this girl.
Oh yeah,
about
this
gratitude.
girl that she's really into gratitude, and she was telling me that something that changed her perspective so much is similar to what you're saying, but also let's say that you are washing the dishes and you're like, oh, so annoying that I have to wash the dishes. But if you think about you're washing the dishes, why are you washing the dishes? Because you just had dinner. So it's some people don't even get to have dinner, so
Right.
they don't have dishes to wash because they
Yes.
didn't have any food. So
Yes.
things like that sometimes we always had food on our table, so we don't even think about that, you know? So things that we take for granted because that's what we have had our whole life. And when you started to look at it that way, it makes you look at things so differently. When she said that, I was like, wow. Like since then I haven't complained on washing the dishes. Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't wash them, but it's just I'm not complaining. Or even clothes.
Right.
It's like when people say I don't have anything to wear, well, but you have a closet full of clothes. So sometimes I say I don't have anything to wear for that event. Just because instead of, I feel bad saying I don't have anything to wear because that's not true. So it's
for
like,
that event.
it's like sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to wear. It's like, because I don't know, it makes me feel bad when I say stuff like that because that's not true.
Yeah.
And it's just changing the mindset and the perspective of, instead of a lacking mentality, it's just more opportunities, and what you have right now, it's enough. And then if you need more, then you can.
And your vocabulary
Affects a lot too.
Because it's one thing to say, oh, I'm grateful for my food. But when you have to cook, you're like, ugh,
right,
I have to cook.
Yeah, exactly. Vocabulary plays a role because it's everything you say. It's like what we were talking about, the plants or the flower study. It's, you process it. So whatever the words that you're saying out loud, or even not out loud, but the words that you're saying, it goes through a process of your brain thinking about the word, then you vocalize in whatever you're saying. It's a whole process, and then your body absorbs it, and it affects you more than you realize.
Yes, I agree.
I was listening to a podcast today about the Huberman lab. I'm going to link it below because it's really interesting. And he was saying how much gratitude can affect our mental health, which I found super interesting because sometimes we just relate it about mindfulness and more about,
just like, that's the good thing to do, so
that's a good thing to do. But when he was talking about how does it really affects your mental health, I thought that was so interesting because he was saying that it can positively impact your well-being and how happy you are in the long run. And as you practice gratitude daily, it'll make you be happier in the long run, because eventually you don't need to be practicing daily. Your body auto regulates, and then it's happier just because you've been like practicing for so long that it auto regulates, and then you don't need it every single day.
Okay. Maybe you don't need it every single day because now it's just a part of you.
Exactly. And he was saying that practicing gratitude, it looks different. Besides writing stuff down, he was saying about a study that they did and how the brain responds to when you're being grateful. So how people like, and I wanted to ask you this, what do you prefer? And I wish we could have done a poll about this, but what do you prefer? Being grateful to someone else, or people being grateful to you? Like, what fulfills you the most?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Repeat the question.
What do you prefer, or what fulfills you the most? Giving thanks to people, or being grateful to people, or people being grateful to you?
Giving thanks to someone else.
Really? Okay. Because he was saying that neurologically, the brain, you can practice gratitude in two ways, which are those two ways. But the brain reacts so much more powerful when people give you thanks, or when people are grateful to you. So if I tell you, Alexa, I'm so grateful for you because I cannot imagine this podcast without you, blah, blah, blah. And I gave you like...
Okay. I guess the way that I was thinking about it is more in the way that if someone does something nice for me out of nowhere, I'll appreciate that so much. Right. And sometimes when people tell me, oh my God, thank you so much, it's kind of hard for me to absorb it for some reason. And I think that's something that I need to work on. Yeah. My capacity to receive. It's like you were saying with the... on TikTok, every time we have a video that goes viral or whatever, I'm not able to like take it in like that, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Because I feel you're pretty good at giving thanks or being grateful to other people. I've noticed that so much about you, because I feel, even though you say you need to work a lot more on being grateful, I feel you're really grateful. Like, you have taught me to say thanks more to friends for smaller things.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel you always give thanks, or you're always very appreciative of small things that people do. Aww. And you vocalize those things. And it's really nice to hear. So I was like, oh, let me just do that. Like the same thing with my friends or my family or whoever whoever I'm around.
That's nice. I
Because
didn't know that.
no, it's really nice to hear, and it's so interesting that he was saying that ways of practicing gratitude is saying thanks to other people, because other people really, really like hearing other people are grateful for them or what they do.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I can totally see that. Because also, for example, if you live with someone and you're constantly having to do things for each other, constantly saying thank you for whatever the
Yes.
person is doing makes such a
it
difference.
makes such a difference.
Like, thank you for making the food. Thank you for washing the dishes. Thank you for doing this. Even if you have to say it every single day, you have no idea how much your life is going to be so much better living with that person, just because it's not enough to just tell the person once, I appreciate you, and then never say it again.
Yeah.
If you're able to say thank you every single time, even if you're repeating yourself, it makes the biggest difference in the world.
And it's like, there's nothing wrong with repeating yourself with that, it's nothing negative. You're just saying nice things to the other person, so why not say it all the time? That's something that I've noticed living with someone. Just being appreciative, it goes such a long way.
Such a long way. Like, it'll literally solve all of your fights, all of your misunderstandings. Like, just because you know the person is appreciative of your efforts,
it changes.
It's like,
so
what?
much.
And now I want to do the effort again.
Yeah.
Because I know you're grateful for my effort.
Yeah, or that you notice that I did something for you and that you appreciate it.
Yes.
So I encourage people to give thanks more, be more grateful for like smaller things.
Yes,
so I found so interesting that he was saying that practicing gratitude can start from that. And I always thought that gratitude is just thinking about something that you're grateful for and writing them down, which is also a great activity. It helps me a lot. But he was saying that another great way to practice gratitude is doing that. And the second thing that he said was, which was so interesting, is seeing other people receive gratitude.
Like how?
And he gave an example. They did a study on a group of people at different times of day, different days, and they were told the same story.
Okay.
And they were doing some testing about like their heart rate. The heart racing was increasing at the same points of the story.
Okay.
So they all basically, in other words, they all could relate to the story that was told. Okay. And they could see the positive effects that listening to another story of gratitude affected them. So it's seeing other people receiving gratitude.
So, for example, our viewers right now are getting benefits from us talking about gratitude.
Not us talking about gratitude, but let's say I'm telling you how grateful I'm for you. They can feel it.
Okay.
He was saying about like another way to practice this is listen to a story that you really not relate to, but that moves you. Let's say listening to the story and write what you feel listening to the story and basically like bullet points how grateful you are about that.
Okay.
And then he was saying that you can repeat that over and over every day and you'll have the same effects in your brain. I'll give you positive thoughts or making you happier in a way. So if you practice that every day, then you're going to be naturally more grateful, and then you become happier in the long run, which I thought was so interesting. I didn't know how much impact gratitude can have in your brain. I thought it was more mental, but it makes you happier in general in life.
I think too, for me, a part of being grateful is also being present. Like I was saying earlier about if I'm outside and I feel the breeze, I try and be present with the breeze. Or if I'm making food, I try and be present with my food. If, for example, I think the best way that you can show gratitude to someone is being present with them.
Yeah.
We say to each other often that we're grateful for each other and that we're grateful for what we're doing together, but our actions show it too. Like every weekend we're sitting here listening to each other talk, you know?
True.
It's like your capacity to be able to listen to someone's story and feel what they're feeling is in itself a service that you're doing to the person, because you're showing the person, I'm here with you. I'm listening to you. You mean something to me. You're worthy of my attention.
Yeah, I agree with that. Being for the other person and be present. I think it plays a huge role in gratitude as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't need that much. You just need the other person to be there for you, and then just by listening to you and be there for each other, it's a great way to show that.
Do you think it's easy for you to, well, you kind of mentioned this, that I've inspired you to be more vocal about your gratitude. Do you think it's because, okay, I'll tell you where I'm coming out with this question. For me, I feel with certain people in my life, it's easier for me to express gratitude and love. And with other people, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't know if it's the same for you.
Yeah, but I feel also depends on
the relationship.
Not the relationship, but how the other person receives,
how receptive they are.
How receptive they are, because you were saying, which I don't feel it's true in a way, but you were saying like you don't know how to receive it. Like, for example, if I say something to you, I feel like
I receive it.
You receive it pretty well. Versus I have some close people in my life when you say something, it's like they get uncomfortable and it's like, oh, like awkward, like they don't know how to receive it. So I feel that it's harder to give gratitude to someone that doesn't know how to receive it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
How are you
doing?
Yeah.
I'm done with the shirt, I think.
Oh, wow. How do you paint this?
Oh, wait, no. There's little cracks in there. They're so hard
to get. Oh, and also something that he was talking about, which I thought was so interesting, is that they also did a different study about people being given something, money, gift, whatever. But what they did was they tried it with multiple people, and they made some people give genuine gifts or genuine amounts of money versus other people forcing them to give them away.
Okay.
And they were doing some testing on the people receiving the gift, and it had a negative impact on people when it was felt as forced. Versus when it was given with pure, like genuine, with a genuine intention.
I feel like that ties back to mindful gift giving.
I thought about it. I thought it was so crazy, and I immediately thought about the mindful gift giving, because also that we were talking about, like, when someone gives you something that it's like you can tell that it was given to you just because they have to give you something, especially now the holiday season, that everyone gets the gift, or that you feel the need to give gifts to a family member or a friend or whatever.
Yes.
You can tell when something is not made with intention or given with intention. Even we have talked about when you don't have the will or the wants to do something, but you know you have to do it, so you do it, but you do it halfway, just because you're not in the mood of doing that. Well, the same thing. It has a negative, not negative, but it doesn't have the best outcome. Same happens with gratitude or gifts. It doesn't need to be necessarily related to gifts. But now that we're like in the gift giving season, you can think about it that way, that it can also give a negative impact in people because it's not well received.
That's
since
so
it's
interesting.
Felt that it was forced.
Yeah. Wow.
I've noticed that with my friends when I start being more grateful about whatever they do, and I give things like, oh, thank you so much for, I don't know, being on top of me, or thank you so much for even like dropping me off, or thank you so much for doing certain small things. Whenever I feel they're grateful for it, for some reason, I feel more connected to them. So being grateful with any type of relationships you have will strengthen bonds with them.
I agree.
So I think it's also something that adds in your life beyond the mental aspect and making you happier. It also helps bonding with other people.
Yeah. And I think sometimes even like with strangers, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm bonding with the stranger, but there's a difference between, look at me. There's a difference between, oh, thanks, and then thank you. Like, you look at the person and you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the intention behind the vocabulary in your
Mm-hmm.
words
Mm-hmm.
will
Yes.
make an impact too.
Yes, that's so true. This is not related to this topic much, but I've tried to make a conscious effort because I feel I'm always rushing, right? So that's one of my things in my vision board, to be more calm in life in general, not to be rushed all the time everywhere I go. So I think it's related to that as well, that sometimes I get into the elevator and I say hi, but I don't even look at the other people's eyes.
The eyes.
So I'm trying to make a conscious effort.
It's so interesting that you say that, because I've been trying to think about my attitude when I'm in an elevator. I wonder, because sometimes when we talk about receptivity,
Right.
some people are open to you saying hi and
Right.
they'll like want to engage.
Yeah.
But then other people, they just don't want you to talk to them, and they
Mhm.
would prefer you not say anything.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, for example, let me ask you a question. If you go into elevator, you see someone, will you say hi?
Yeah. But I say
Always?
no, not always. But it's like it depends.
Yeah.
But also, let's say I walk into the elevator and they look like we make eye contact. It's like hi, and that's it.
Or
Like,
sometimes I'll just smile.
yeah.
I just do like him.
Yeah. Yeah, but it depends on the person, but yeah, I would say hi, but it's not that I would make conversation.
Yeah, I don't like making small talk. Like
No,
that's
me
something
neither.
I don't really enjoy.
No, me neither. But I've been trying to make like the conscious effort of looking at people's eyes when I talked. Even it could be like hi in the elevator, but looking at them in the eyes.
Right.
So it's so interesting that you just gave an example about your expressions as well, to truly show what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And eye contact it's a big thing, to be like,
Yes.
it's not the same to say oh thank you if you're looking at somewhere. Like you gave me something and I say thank you as I grab it and I'm looking at the thing.
Oh, thank you. It's like, no, it's different
like,
from taking it, looking at the person. Thank you.
Thank you.
So as you're receiving gifts this holiday season, be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Be mindful of looking at people in the eyes.
Yeah. And
give thanks.
Yeah. Like show your emotions.
Yeah. So that's why I said, like in the beginning, to not be afraid to see the beauty and not be afraid to soak it in.
Yeah, true.
Because sometimes it's like, it can be hard to want to go there just because you might be afraid of getting hurt, or you might be afraid of, it's like, I think fear plays a big role in it. Or maybe at some point you were very open and someone like shut you down. So now that makes you close up and you can't really go there anymore.
Yeah.
But if what I'm describing now is where you're at, I think just keep working at it. For me, like I was saying at the beginning of the year, I felt I needed to be more grateful when I was grateful, and I felt like I wasn't doing enough. But I think the moment where I really was able to actually feel the gratitude is letting that idea go and just being with it, taking it in. And honestly, it's also work. Like it takes work. Practicing gratitude.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. It takes work, and also it makes you look deeper in a way, that not being grateful of like the big things or like the typical things that people give thanks to, a gift or whatever, a big thing. It's just being grateful of like smaller things that come into your life every day.
Girl, I'm not sure how good this is gonna look. I feel like the paint job is rough.
No, but I feel when we add the details, it's gonna look better.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to start practicing gratitude today, how would you recommend they start?
I would say to first start small. No, it doesn't need to be like this whole thing that we were talking about, doing different mental exercises. It could be something as small as one thing that you're grateful that day, whatever it means for you. And also you can try what I've been doing, which is I have journals, and the current one that I'm using right now, it gives you a prompt every single day that it's what are you grateful for today. But there are multiple ones that you can try. It could be, I have another one that everything's linked in our link tree. So if you're interested, you can find it there. But I used to have another journal that it had like two parts. It would be one part that you would do or fill out in the morning, and then the other one would be at night. And I really liked the one at night because it made you reflect on the day that just passed. And I had a question that, what was one good thing that happened today? So it made you reflect and really think about, sometimes you think like we're so automatic, and sometimes you just did the same thing that you did yesterday, so you don't really think about anything specifically, but that makes you think, oh, let me actually think about what happened and put your mind into it, and then be more thoughtful of everything that happened that day. And then you might realize that good things happened that day and that you didn't realize until you had to fill out that prompt. So you can start by using journals that have prompts. Also, I just remembered even meditations. There are meditations about gratitude that you can try.
Oh, right. Yeah. We both, Andrea and I, have tried and used the Insight Timer app, which we both really like and recommend. So if you're looking for, well, you can also find like on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you look up gratitude meditation, but I'm also very sure that you'll find it on the Insight Timer app. It's free.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are really, I guess, good guided ways to start. Guided journaling, guided meditation about gratitude.
Yeah.
I would say adding to that is your vocabulary and starting to say, I get to every day instead of I have to.
I love
That's something
that one.
so simple that you can implement.
Yes.
And you're like, you don't even have to change anything in your, like, physically. There's nothing you have to buy, nothing you have to download. Just start saying I get to.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love that one because it shifts your mentality so much, that so much more than you can realize once you start doing it, that it's so powerful.
Yes.
And I encourage everyone to try it. Okay, so we are halfway through. Let's see how long it takes us to finish. Then we just have a few details, and we're gonna do them off camera, and then we'll show you the results when we get back.
See you soon.
See ya. Hey, we're back. So this is our final result. Just want to show you. Black one is mine. White one is Alexis.
Yes, I had fun making this with you.
Oh, me too. This was a great bonding experience, and it was like the cutest gift ever. I loved it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, this is it. Next episode is going to be the last episode of 2024.
Yes.
And we plan to do a recap of
all the episodes that we've done so far, our experience to doing a podcast, and if we have any advice to tell people wanting to start anything new, regardless if it's a podcast or not, giving our tips and sharing our experience so far.
Yes. So make sure to tune in for that, and we'll give you a heads up as well for what's to come in the new year. As
always, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as You Are Pod.
If you like this episode, please share it and make sure to subscribe.
And we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.